This is a video presentation for Negotiable Instrument Law on the case of Norberto Tibahia Jr. and Carmen Tibahia versus the Honorable Court of Appeals and Eden Tan, GR number 100290, June 4, 1993. The provisions of law applicable to the case. Article 1249 of the Civil Code, which provides the payment of debts in money shall be made in the currency stipulated, and if it's not possible to deliver such currency, then in the currency which is legal tender in the Philippines. The delivery of promissory notes payable to order or bills of exchange or other mercantile documents shall produce the effect of payment only when they have been cashed or when through the fault of the creditor they have been impaired. In the meantime, the action derived from the original obligation shall be held in abeyance. Section 1 of RA number 529 as amended provides every provision contained in or made with respect to any obligation which purports to give the obligee the right to require payment in gold or in any particular kind of coin or currency other than Philippine currency or in an amount of money of the Philippines measured thereby shall be as it is hereby declared against public policy null and void and of no effect, and no such provision shall be contained in or made with respect to any obligation thereafter incurred. Every obligation heretofore and hereafter incurred, whether or not any such provision as to payment is contained therein or made with respect thereto, shall be discharged upon payment in any coin or currency which at the time of payment is legal tender for public and private debts. Last one is Section 63 of RA number 265 as amended. This is the Central Bank Act. Provides a legal character. Checks representing deposit money do not have legal tender power and their acceptance in payment of debts, both public and private, is at the option of the creditor, provided, however, that a check which has been cleared and credited to the account of the creditor shall be equivalent to a delivery to the creditor of cash in and amount equal to the amount credited to his account. Here are the facts of the case. A suit for collection of sum of money was ruled in favor of Eden Tan and against the spouses Norberto Jr. and Carmen Tibahia. After the decision was made final, Tan filed the motion for execution and levied upon the garnished funds, which were deposited by the spouses with the cashier of the Regional Trial Court of Pasig. The spouses, however, delivered to the deputy sheriff the total money judgment in the form of cashier's check, 262,750 pesos, and a cash of $135,733.70 pesos. Not dollars. Tan refused the payment and insisted upon the garnished funds to satisfy the judgment obligation. The spouses filed a motion to lift the writ of execution on the ground that the judgment debt had already been paid. The motion was denied. The issue of this case is whether or not the spouses have satisfied the judgment obligation after the delivery of cashier's check and cash to the deputy sheriff. Now, the ruling of the court is that there are two cases that are merely applied in the statutory provisions, which lay down the rule that a check is not legal tender and that a creditor may validly refuse payment by check, whether it be a manager's, cashier's, or personal check. The petitioners erroneously rely on one of the dissenting opinions in Philippine Airlines case to support their cause. The dissenting opinion, however, does not in any way support the contention that a check is legal tender, but on the contrary states that if the PAL checks in question had not been encashed by Sheriff Reyes, there would be no payment by PAL and consequently no discharge or satisfaction of its judgment obligation. Moreover, the circumstances in the Philippine Airlines case are quite different from those in the case at bar. For that case, in the checks issued by the judgment debtor were made payable to the sheriff. Emilio Reyes, who encashed the checks but failed to deliver the proceeds of said encashment to the judgment creditor. Finally, in the more recent case of Fortunado versus Court of Appeals, this court stressed that we are not by this decision sanctioning the use of check for the payment of obligations over the object of the creditor. Wherefore, the petition is denied. The appeal decision is hereby affirmed with costs against the petitioners.